Hello, everybody, and welcome to another voice lesson. Today, I want to go over the beautiful warm ups for the morning. What's so important about when you warm up in the morning is that it's just like your body. You get up and you stretch a little bit, or if you're going to go have a workout, you want to make sure that you're stretching the body. The voice is the exact same way. Before we go and sing a big song or do some even just a small song, we want to make sure that we have warmed up the voice. Fact is, it takes over 100 muscles to sing, which is absolutely incredible. So, how we prepare for a song singing, which is what I want to go over today, is so important. I remember when I first started taking voice lessons and I really started singing when I was studying theater in school. I learned that you really have to prepare a lot more than you think. I thought I could just go in and just go for it, and which I did. And one of my teachers told me, if you keep singing like that, you're going to ruin your voice. And it hurt my feelings at the time, but it was some of the best advice I've ever gotten, because that's when I started to get classically trained, jazz actually trained in vocals. And I'm just so happy that I did that, because now I sing professionally and it is the light of my life. It's the love of my life is singing. So make sure that you have a nice glass of water or a bottle of water that is handy. And let's do just a quick little stretch warm up. Let's inhale, roll the shoulders back. Because remember, our voice lives in our body. So we must treat our body like a temple. If we want it to sound the best, think about your home. You want it to look beautiful. You make sure it's clean and it smells good. You don't just, let it go for weeks and months not cleaning. It's the same thing. We need maintenance for the voice. So our maintenance is hydration, sleep, making sure you're getting those 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, not overusing the voice. That's something that I had a lot of trouble with as well, because I used to work as a server in restaurants while I was also doing gigs. So I was talking all day saying, "Hi, how are you? What would you like to drink?" And then I was also singing at night. So sometimes I would use my voice for 5, 6+ hours a day, which is just talking is a lot, but when you put singing in there, it can be extremely straining. So remember to not overuse the voice, and you can also do vocal warm-ups for a cool down at the end of a day where you're speaking a lot. So let's go back to stretching. Inhale, raise the shoulders up. Exhale, roll them backwards. Make sure you have a little bend in your knee here, and you want to just tuck your pelvis slightly and activate that core. It not like a very strong core, but just a little bit activated. So we're not just like super loose, right? We want to have that balance of feeling strong and fierce and ready to really sing, and also no tension or stress within the body. So today I just want to go really easy, really slow. Think about your body as like a cloud. A cloud has a lot of air in it, right? It has a lot of space. So think about your body having a lot of air and space. If there's any tension in the hips or the pelvis, just see how you can kind of move it around, tilting back and forth, side to side, having your feet nice and planted right underneath your shoulders, and then the knees come up right from your feet, and then from the knees, your hips. We want to make sure that our spine is nice and supple, and then the shoulders are relaxed, the neck is relaxed, and everything that occurs in our body that is tension actually comes from the top of your head. It's when the atlas and axis meet. This is a place where actually all the tension comes from, which is really crazy to think about, but especially because we sit a lot, we can stand a lot depending on what your profession is. We want to relax that area. So just kind of do this with me. Kind of move your chin in like a little figure 8. And then, yes, and then just shake it out. And then come back to that stance and just see how easy you can feel, how much ease you can feel. Beautiful. Now, before we get started, let's take a nice sip of water. And the type of breathing that we do with singing is so important. Sometimes we forget to include the breathing exercises and the breathing warm-ups that we really need for our beautiful voice to shine when we sing. So what we're going to do is put one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Inhale through the belly. Feel how the belly expands first and then the chest, and then exhale through the belly. We're doing 3-part breath. So belly, ribs, chest. Belly, ribs, chest. Inhale. Belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale. Belly, ribs, and chest. I want you to do this 3 more times at your own pace and rhythm. All of our bodies are different. So some people have a bigger lung capacity naturally, just biologically, and some people are smaller. So just take it how it feels, comfortable and easy, no forcing in your own body. Inhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. And just one more time. And bring a smile to your face. Now that we've gotten in touch with our body and breath, making sure that our posture is nice and strong, but also, breathable. Remember, we're like that cloud, a big fluffy cloud, and our posture is strong. And now our breath is warmed up a little bit. Now we can get into vocalizing and doing our vocal warm-ups. So it's just been such a journey for me, and I'm so grateful to be here where I am, because before I started really training my voice, I knew I had a passion. I knew I had this desire in my heart, and I knew I had a kind of natural easiness to sing, a natural proclivity to sing, but I just didn't have the confidence. And I will tell you, confidence comes from training, from preparation. I know it can be very hard at the beginning. I remember those days when I felt like I wanted to be way up here. I wanted to sing like Celine Dion. I wanted to be like Lady Gaga, Adele, Whitney Houston, these amazing powerhouse singers. But I couldn't, and I didn't know why. And I'll tell you, the secret sauce are the warm-ups and the vocalizing. You want to do it from 3 to 5 times a week, taking 2 days off for rest. And the rest of it is really just time and consistency. And I know I wish it could be a different way, but it honestly is the best, because as we do these warm-ups, they build on one another. It's like you're building a foundation of a home. You have to dig deep. You got to make sure it's level, and then you come up. So the digging deep is going back to the basics, and leveling it out is making sure we have those really basic foundations of our voice, those basic building blocks. So as every time that we warm up and we practice our songs, we are actually building a beautiful house. And then one day somebody will come in and say, "Oh my God, this is the most beautiful mansion I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. This must have, they are going to know that it took time, but nobody goes to a house and says, wow, this is a great foundation. They're looking at all of the other things. So know that just with a little bit each day, honestly, you could only do this for 10 minutes a day and then practice your songs, and you will get so much better. All you need is a few minutes a day and then practicing your songs afterwards. That's how you really get good, is not just doing your warm-ups, but doing your warm-ups and then practicing a song that you want to sing. So let's get into those vocal warm-ups. Bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the chest. And what we're going to do is close the eyes. And I just want you to get in touch with your vibration of your voice, your frequency. Inhale through the nose. Exhale on a pitch. I just picked that one. It depends on your range. Not everybody has the same range. But if you have, like most of women's voices are either going to be soprano or alto. So you either go really high or kind of lower, or like me, I'm a mezzo soprano. So you kind of do it right in the middle. You can go up in pitch. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just about getting in touch with that vibration that is you. And it's also a vocal warm-up. 2 more times. As you're getting in touch with your voice, we want to tell ourselves, my voice is sacred. My body is a gift. My body is sacred. My voice is a gift. We are so incredibly blessed to be able to sing and to be able to learn and educate ourselves and get better. So instead of looking at, oh, my voice isn't the way that I want it yet, I want you to look at, guess what? I have come so far, and today my voice is the best it's ever been, and it's just going to get better the more that I practice. Make sure to take a nice sip of water whenever you need it. Another thing is to go low and slow. There's nothing better than taking your time with training your voice. We don't want to go hard and fast. That can create injury. That can create a lot of strain. So low and slow is the way to go. The crock pot method. That's going to give you a lot of endurance in your voice as well. Hand to the belly and the heart. Inhale through the belly. Check that tension in your head. Check your body posture. One more time, take a deep, luscious breath. And just shake it out and see how you're feeling right now. Drop in the comments how that made you feel. To me, I felt very grounded, like, oh, wow, that's really powerful. I can make my whole body vibrate. That's so cool. So I love doing those little things. That's a good mindfulness exercise for the voice. And that is something I'm extremely passionate about teaching, is bringing the mindset part into singing. Because if you're singing and you don't have any awareness of how you're really feeling, you can really hurt yourself. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to sing so beautifully and wonderfully and for so many years. So what we're going to do is now come to the piano. And we are going to do some vocal warm-ups. What we're going to do is start with that humming again. I want you to bend your knees a little bit, shake out your body, and then come to this pitch right here. It's a little bit high. So you know what? I'm going to start a little bit lower. That's a little low. This is more, it's pretty low, but you know what? Training your chest voice is actually going to make your voice so much better. That is also the key. And that is something that I learned this past year, I trained my chest voice almost for an entire year, and my voice is so much better. I have so much more control. It's so much more beautiful. I really have that depth and those velvety tones, and I'm just super excited for you to start your chest voice journey. So if this is too low, just join in when it's on a pitch that's comfortable for you. Let's just pause there for a moment. Because if you're not used to training your chest voice, it takes a lot of power, it takes a lot of energy. So you got to make sure that you're taking those deep breaths. We're going to go back, down. As we get up in pitch, I want you to see the sound, the sound waves coming out of the back of your chest. So like right where the back of your heart is, like a big arc. Because if we think of it coming from here, it tends to get a little stuck in the throat. So we want to think about the note coming up and over. Wonderful job. Beautiful. We got it. Keep going. Beautiful. And if you want to move around when you do this a little bit or use your arms, that actually helps me a lot, because we get into our head thinking, oh my God, this is such a high note. I'm not sure if I can do this. And that's okay, because once you involve your body a little bit, it gets you out of your head. Now we're going to descend the scale. Woo! Good job, everybody. I know that can be a little bit challenging. That was even challenging for me. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's a whole octave warm up. That is a big deal. If it was uncomfortable in some places, that's okay. Make sure you're drinking water, but also if there's any extra pain, if it's any pinching or any sharp pain, please stop right away. All right, now we're going to go into our lip trills. This is one of the best this is one of the best vocal warm-ups for your voice, because you're not totally opening your mouth and using a vowel. It's called a semi-occluded warm-up, which means it's only semi-closed. So when you go brrr, or is all the way closed, right? But brrr, or woo, the puffy cheeks one I really love too. Those, they kind of trick the brain into thinking, oh, I can hit that note. Oh, we're good. So I just wanted to tell you that that is one of my favorite ones, and it's super, super good for your voice. So we're going to start down here again, and we are going to do the brrr, brrr, brrr. Remember to check on your posture, make sure that your breathing is nice and easy. let's descend. I just wanted to tell you real quick, the way that you can stretch your voice and get into higher and lower notes is through the lip trill. That's kind of your key. That's kind of that secret sauce is the lip trill. Now we'll descend. Now, I am going to ask you to say a couple words right now. This lip trill exercise, I'm telling you, is the best. You need to be doing this at least 5 times a week. If you really want to see improvements, maybe you can do it as little as 3 times, but 3 to 5 times a week, doing that lip trill, say something like, hey, how are you? Like my voice feels more open. It feels like lighter. It feels stronger. It feels like I don't have to like try as hard to make noise. Put in the comments what that made you feel like. Amazing. Now we're going to do some vocalizing on the vowels. Your vowels are really important because that's where all of the sound comes from when you're singing a song, right? When you're like, hallelujah, 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 right? All of those, when you're singing, all of the noise are vowels, right? But your consonants are just, I wouldn't say just as important, but your consonants are also very important because they are the cutoff point. So ha, ha, le, lu, ya. And we'll get into some more about pronunciation in some other videos, but I just wanted to remind you that it is so important to enunciate your words when you're singing. You kind of have to over-enunciate sometimes, especially during your practice, because you want to make sure people can really hear what you're saying and they can really understand what you're saying too. So we're going to start on an ah, and I will give you a little tip here. Say, put an H in front of it, like ha. That little H is going to help you not have a very strong attack on the note. It wants to be nice and soft. So we're going to start down here. That's pretty low, but if you can't do it, don't worry. Just jump in when you can. It doesn't have to sound perfect. If it is a little pitchy, it's okay. We're just warming up. We're crossing the vocal bridge right here from chest voice to head voice. Okay, that's beautiful. Now, the very last thing I want to do before I kind of give you some more instructions about actually practicing a song is doing some sirens. So these are really great. Think about what like a police siren sounds like. And we're going to do these on a humming. So with the lips closed and just kind of go. Or if that's too high for you. And then down low. And doing those in each register, your head voice, your mixed voice, which is the mixed of the head and the chest, and then your chest voice is so good because then you're going to really start to coordinate your muscles. Your muscles, if you haven't sang a lot before, your muscles have to just get used to singing. So doing those things and having your muscles coordinate to make certain sounds is really important. And the very last one are slides. So we're going to start at the top of the range of your range and go all the way down. Again, meet me where you're at. If you're not as high as me, or if you can go lower than me too, do it in your vocal range. The first one I did, I kind of slid up to it. You can do that too, like, We'll do one more time. And then from the base, the bottom of your range, the chest, the lower chest voice, all the way up to the top. So, beautiful. So now you are ready to practice a song. I would say just pick something really normal, like pick something very well known or something that you know really well. You can do Happy Birthday. You can do any popular song, even a lullaby, even like a nursery song, like the itsy bitsy spider grows up the water spout. Out comes the rain and washes spider out. Oops, up came the sun and tried to pour the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Just to start getting used to singing. And when you want to really memorize a song, when you want to really get into those upper levels of singing, I would suggest printing out your lyrics. So they're actually printed out. You can even organize them like I have in this folder. This is my jazz folder. And like, for example, I have Sway, I've got Cheek to Cheek, I've got Fever, and then just pick a song that you want to learn, that you've always maybe wanted to learn, and then go line by line. Just start with the very first line. Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever. And when you're just starting to learn a song, you might have to do that first section over and over again until you memorize it. And I would suggest going through the song once or twice all the way. I typically use a karaoke track on YouTube. There's almost everything you can think of on there. You can find on YouTube. And then you go through line by line. The good thing about when you print it out is you can make notes, you can highlight certain sections, you can say, oh, it goes higher here, or it slows down here, or this is different here. And then that's your script. When you choose a song, that is your script. Those are the emotions. Whatever that song is saying, that's the emotions that you want to evoke. Like this one's Fever. It's a little sultry. It's a little spicy. It's a little flirty. And it's just so exciting to start to really get good at songs. And what you want to do is you want to memorize your song, and you want to be able to then, once you memorize it, then you can kind of play with, then you can really be free. Once you memorize it, then you can be really free, and you can experiment, and you can kind of make it your own. And honestly, I truthfully suggest when you do a cover song is keep as true to it as possible. When I first started doing shows and started doing gigs, I wanted to kind of make things my own, and I had somebody, kind of a veteran musician around town, be like, "Hey, I know that you think it's cool that you do that, and I think that that's really cool that you want to, but do it to the best of your ability to keep it as close to the normal as possible. That doesn't mean you can't change the key and stuff, but keep your song as close as possible to the original, like the same melodies and stuff. And then maybe do like one or two tweaks. Like don't overdo it, because then people think that you don't know the song, or people, they don't connect with you as much as if it was the normal kind of way that it is, the traditional way that it was recorded. So I'm so excited. Let me know what songs you're working on in the comments. I'm so excited to help you with your singing journey. And I want you to always remember to have compassion and patience with yourself, especially when we first start singing. You know, we want to be so good and great, and we think, well, it's never going to happen. I'm here to tell you, you can change your voice in a couple months. You can change your voice in a couple weeks, and then think about doing a whole year of vocal training. That you can literally go from not being very good to professional in a year. I can attest to that. So I'm so happy you enjoyed, I'm so happy that you joined me today, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm always open to wanting to learn and know what you guys want to learn about. So please let me know in the comments as well of what kind of vocal techniques and things you want to learn, and anything in the mindset about being a performer or a singer as well. Remember to like this video, subscribe, share it with somebody if you found it to be valuable for you. And don't forget to check out my Sing with Confidence challenge that happens every single month, where I take you on a multiple day live experience where we're going to be in Zoom together. I'm going to be telling you all of my secrets, all of my tips and tricks, and things that have really propelled me from being somebody that was not very confident in singing, somebody that really didn't think I could ever do anything big with my voice because I just wasn't trained correctly, to being someone who is trained, who is confident, who is professional, who shows up at the gigs ready to go and knows my repertoire and even writes my own songs. So I write my own music, and I have an album that just came out too. It's called Land of Allavie, and please check that out as well. So click the link below if you want to join the Sing with Confidence challenge, and I will see you in the next video next week. Happy singing, everybody, and have a beautiful week.